Hailing back from the days of Medarot 5, it is a returnee back making her first ever appearance in 3D as part of the Fruit series. It is SRB00 Strawbe-Milk, with a kit of rifle, double Gatling, biped legs, and the leg ability of Assail, which grants the shoot boost effect to self when charging Metaforce. Now, when it comes to rather unique designs, Medarot 5 is most certainly no stranger to bringing some really unique motifs and themes and turning them into very creative and memorable designs, many of which, of course, are accredited to the legendary Mr. Aggro. Strawbe-Milk here actually is part of a series that we actually already have a previous installment of, and that is the Banana type, also from 5, BNN0 Hit Seller. Rifle on the head part is a conventional shooting-based skill that has no real drawback, penalty, or balance to it, which means you can use this extremely user-friendly part basically anywhere with no rhyme or reason, no penalties, no conditional bonuses, no nothing. Just a standard point-and-shoot rifle with very solid skills and numbers across the board that you can use basically anywhere with no real drawback. Gatling on both arms are also conventional shooting skills that are scatter type of attacks, which means that they will damage one part normally and then damage two others randomly for extra damage. However, it is also worth noting that Gatling or scatter skills in general typically tend to have a slightly higher crit rate than most other regular conventional shooting skills, and scatter skills are also best known for their ability to shred through shields by consuming 3 charges of an active shield instead of only 1. But with base powers between 1232 and 1344 on both of those Gatlings, and a base rifle at 1437, she's actually packing some relatively impressive base power there. And the heat and cool is also very solid as well. That rifle might be in your average range between high 500 and low 600s, but with the Gatling sitting between mid 600s to even low 800s means she can fire these off extremely quickly with no real penalty or anything really to have to bolster or complement her on her own. Her leg stats honestly are where she does fall off though, and given that she is an event reward, that is kind of to be expected of a base 2-star model. However, she is packing a base mobility of 664, which is kind of on the lower cusp of where biped legs want to sit. Now, typically you want to sit between 8 and 900 for mobility to stay with the competitive meta, but if you're, say, a newcomer to the game, a rookie, or just starting out and do end up picking up Strawbe-Milk, sitting in the mid 600s to 700s is still going to be a relatively solid sweet spot for you overall. An evade of 1157 is nice, as it means that she can certainly dodge or graze fairly well with no real 50-50 chance. It is going to kind of be relative to if she feels like dodging or grazing in that particular. A melee resist of 612 is unfortunately not all that great though, as this does mean that she is going to really suffer if anyone gets up close in her space, as delicate as a fruit might be. However, a shoot resist of 1175 also is nice though, as this does mean that she can hold her own just a little bit better at range and exchanging pot shots afar than anyone getting up close. However, the leg ability of Assail also is really nice too, as this does mean that her already relatively impressive base power does go up another 50% or so when she does charge Metaforce to gain a free stack of shoot boost itself as long as it stays active. So she can most certainly hold her own fairly well, even if she does require a little bit of setup to use. As far as armor is concerned though, she is kind of light in that department, with a base with a head armor of 2759, arms at 2459 each, and legs at just shy of 3000. She is relatively light, like I said, so it is not going to be very hard to pummel or even cripple or attack this one and leave any lasting effects because she has rather light defenses and very light armor. But given the standard pattern for most conventional female types, and I'm not considering boss types or collabs or anything else that was designed to be specifically super broken, her stats are still kind of par for the course, so I can't really dock on her too heavily overall for that very reason. All this being said though, as a pure set score, I honestly have to rate Strawbe-Milk a pretty middle-of-the-road 6.5 out of 10. While she unfortunately really won't see a lot of use in high competitive meta or anything of that particular nature, when it comes to newcomers just starting in the game or even just as something friendly to use for your free-for-all team, she still does bring a lot to the table, and she is incredibly synergetic unto herself. Assail with that free shoot boost effect will of course synergize into rifle and either Gatling arm, so no real drawback there that you can see. A high heat and cool stats on her arms, and a pretty solid base power on the rifle for her head means that she can run back and forth from the line pretty consistently with very little assistance required as far as conventional or just your average casual fights go. As mixed parts, I do have to rate her equally at a 6.5 out of 10 for these same reasons. While the legs may unfortunately hold her back just a little bit, if you were to mix those up and put them on something just a little bit faster, then you might possibly comp a number of the issues that Strawbe-Milk brings that as an innate flaw or shortcoming. Or if you were able to mix it up and, say, swap one of her Gatling arms out for something just a little bit more powerful to make use of that free heavy slot, then you could probably start cooking with some very solid damage, even if she does trade some overall speed to do so.